Okay, welcome back guys for season 3 of my single player series. And I have a little bit of a plan for what I want to do. In this series I want to play around with a specific change that we got in Dominion 6. And that's gonna dictate which nation I select. I haven't fully decided on a nation yet, so I will have to go through this and have another look. You will probably know what I end up on just by the title of the playlist and the series. So what is it I need for my plan? I want a nation that has some kind of elemental resistance on their troops, and I need mages that have the same elements. So for example, I need fire resistant troops and fire mages, but I can also go with cold resistance and water mages, or poison resistance and nature mages. And then things that would be nice. It would be nice if we also had glamour mages, and it would be nice if we had nature mages. And so there's a few nations that already pop out and come to my mind. I guess the easiest choice would be Abysia. All their troops have really good fire resistance. We do get fire mages, so that's nice. And we get a little bit of blood to play around with, so that's kind of fun. Also Holy Freeze if we pick EA Abysia. So we could also do some blood stuff on this side. That would be kind of nice. So these guys would be qualified. Who else would be qualified? Pangea not so much. These guys not so much. Let's see, what does Pyrene get? I mean, their troops are resistant, however, only slightly resistant. And what do we get? We do get air, but no shock resistance. And what else do we get? Earth. So I don't think these guys will work for my plan. That's a shame. Hinnom. We do get these guys, but our big dudes, they're not elemental resistant. In a pinch, I mean, some sacreds that are just around everywhere would also work. Uber only has fire resistance on their Jinn, so I don't think Uber will work. No resistances, no resistances. These guys sadly are cap only. These guys would be nice. Calum, do we have resistances? We have some cold resistant guys and shock resistant guys. So Calum could actually work. But I think another thing that would be nice is some kind of sturdy frontline troop. That would also be very helpful. Yomi we already had. Zibalba, no resistances. Cetis, we could do. They all have poison resistance. However, I would prefer fire or water over nature for my plan. I'm gonna reveal my plan soon, but I just wanna go through the nations and have a quick look what our options are. So it looks like for early age, well, Roos could do it, but Roos doesn't have water mages. So I guess for early age it's Abysia and maybe those giants. These guys are all super cold resistant. They have sturdy line holder troops. And they do have water mages. They are also not cap only. We do get some glamour, but not on our water mages. I would like to see glamour. Oh, we do get some glamour on the water mages. So these guys might be an option. And in single player it's not so bad that they're all weak to shock. Niflheim, Muspelheim, let's have a look at their units. We have fire resistant units in the cap and cold resistant units outside the cap. We do get fire mages and they do get glamour. We get some SCs to play around with. No water mages though. But yeah, these guys might be an option. And then we have the water nations. Fuck those. Yeah, not interested in them. And let's see, I guess there's also some middle age nations that are really good contenders. Again, we have Abysia. I guess Asphodel would be pretty good. Oh, we can't see that free spawn here, but I guess undead nations are also pretty good because undead are cold and poison resistant, so that would be pretty nice. Besides that, these guys still have their resistances. Ashdod would work, but playing Ashdod in single player, I don't know. That's a bit lame. And these guys would somewhat work. But yeah, I think Abysia will be the best contender for what I have planned. Even though we don't get nature magic. And also no glamour. So I think the choice is between Abysia and Niflheim. Yeah, it looks like the chain. I think it's those two. So let's have a look. Do we want to go Niflheim or Abysia? Heat limit, death limit, but also free blast points. No missile weapons. Depth and growth scales have half the standard effect on income and no effect on supplies. I mean, we could do Niflheim. We would have those nice Jotun units and some Nifl giants to play around with. And then Sprati, which are kind of nice. Oh, but their research is so horrible, right? Their research is just absolute dog shit. And let's go back to Abysia. What do we have for mages? This is a somewhat usable researcher, I guess. We get assassins. Oh, we get these guys who are pretty efficient. blood hunters, researchers, everything. We get astral blood, which is nice. And we can do some crossbreeding shenanigans. I mean, Abysia looks kind of interesting, so I think I'm gonna go and try Abysia out. That also keeps us in the early age. And so yeah, I think I'm gonna pick Abysia. So what's my plan? My plan is to try using out those dragon summons. With them now having unlimited ammo and only taking fatigue, we can have those dragons stay behind our troops and just roast people, and that sounds really fun. So we can do lots of dragon summoning, fire dragons, and have them roast people. We don't have any nature, so putting up something like relief would be really nice for that strat. Also, we don't have glamour. Glamour would be nice because we could do dragon mastery. But we do have fire, and that allows us to do at least the construction item that gives a little bit of dragon mastery. But I have not decided on any build, so I think I'm gonna pause the recording here and spend a little bit of thought on what pretenders could be an option for us, and then I get you back in. Alright, I'm back and I have given it some thought, so I think we'll be playing as early age Abysia. This seems to be a good choice. Sadly, I think the best choice for this strategy would be Pharaohs, but I'm really not into doing that on Pharaohs right now. You know, that's double cancer. The aquatic pop kill, that's just too cancerous. So let's do Abysia. It's not the best nation for this strategy, but probably the second best or third best. Interestingly, early age Pyrene is a very strong contender for this. They might be the perfect nation, except they don't have a good dragon summoner in their roster. And yeah, let's have a look at what we get for Abysia. So what are we? We are like those semi-demons. Those guys, they're not categorized as demons, but I think it says something that these guys are somewhat related to demons. And yeah, we have heat radiating troops that are highly fire resistant. And all of our troops have wasteland survival, so you can see that here: fire resistance, heat aura, and wasteland survival. Heat aura will just make everybody tired who's around them, and sometimes it will also catch people on fire. So that's very nice. What else do we have? We have death and growth scales have halved the standard effect and on income and population, and no effect on supplies. So yeah, growth scales not really worth it on this nation. And we get extra gold in caves and cave forts, which is nice. All of our dudes, do our dudes have dark vision? Yeah, all our dudes have some dark vision, so that's nice. We have very heavy infantry, especially for the early age, but no missile troops, and we've got those salamanders over here. We'll take a look at them in a second. We got fire, blood, astral, and a little bit of earth magic. And we'll take a look at what we can do with those. And powerful priests. Our dominion gets +2 heat and +1 death. And we get 2 extra best points for free, so that's nice. And we have standard forts. Forts reduce heat scale deaths by 2. Ah, okay, so or people don't die. that fast in heat like normal nations would. Alright, so let's have a look at what we got. So this is one of our infantry dudes. They are fairly expensive at twice the normal cost, 20 gold, 15 HP, so we pay a little bit extra in terms of gold to HP. Our base defense is only 9 and our heavy armor gets us down to 7. Base attack is normal. They're however quite a bit stronger than normal humans, so we hit hard and we siege well. They're still size 3, so no size penalty here. And this is our normal as infantry dude, and he's at 17 protection. That's pretty darn good for early age. Also 12 MR is pretty good, and 11 morale is okay. So overall, fairly okay stats. Our big weakness is that we don't have that much HP. Our defense sucks, and also our combat speed is low, and these guys are very bad at patrolling. In terms of costs, they of course take a lot of resources because of their heavy armor, but barely any recruitment points. Yeah, that's all I got to say about the general unit. So all our units have this combination of traits: fire resistance, heat aura, wasteland survival, and minor dark vision. So that's nice. We can fight underground fairly well, and we can light people up. This flavor here comes with a battle axe, 25 slashing damage, 11 attack, length 2, so that's a pretty good weapon. So these guys are immediately useful for chopping up giants or other highly protected units. And let's see what our next flavor has. We also have this flavor. They're basically the same, but they have a two-handed flail instead of an axe. So the flail only 19 damage compared to the 25. But it's blunt damage, so it's nice versus dudes that have no helmets. These guys might be really good for expansion, especially because flails have 2 attacks per turn. So these guys are pretty killy. Same protection, defense even lower, because flails also have a defense penalty. Then we have guys with shields. These guys have in addition a tower shield. All our units are fairly expensive in terms of resources. Same set, but with a one-handed axe still hitting for 21 slashing damage at 10 attack. However, even with the shield, we are only at 11 defense, so the shield mostly protects us from archers and maybe from guys that have horrible attack to begin with. But it's not that these guys are good at using their big shields in combat. These guys even worse, 10. So these guys have a Morning Star. This is piercing and blunt. 11 attack, so attack is a little bit better. And the Morning Star does only get 1 attack, but +2 attack versus shields. I think the flails also get plus attack versus shields. Yes. So versus shielded unit, this guy has 13 attacks. Same for this guy. So the flail and Morning Star units are also pretty good versus shielded infantry. And yeah, and the axe units are good at chopping up highly armored people. That said, 19 piercing, also nothing to scoff at. These guys can also slap some guys. Then we have of a special unit. This is a cap only unit, the Misbred. So these guys are half undead, half demons. They need undead leadership to be led around. They're old for some reason. And they are stealthy flying. And they have horrible attack, but they hit pretty hard and they can fly. Their protection isn't good, so these guys are an exception to what we usually are. These guys have no armor. They only have their skin, which at least is pretty scaly. And yeah, they are fairly cheap in terms of resources. They're mobile on the map and they can stealth around. They also have 100% dark vision, so that's nice. Then we have these guys, salamanders. They cost 50 gold per dude. They're undisciplined. These guys also come with firepower, so they have better stats and hot provinces. Their morale is pretty shitty, but for animals they have very good MR. What else to say about these guys? So they have a bite and this fire flare attack, and the fire flare attack is an area 1 attack. It is however a melee attack. But yeah, these guys can be deleting squares, 10 protection, 20 HP. They can take maybe a hit and not die, but they tend to die and they're 50 gold, so kind of hard to use these guys. And then we have our big baddies, our cap only sacred as the salamander. Oh no, the salamander can be recruited in every fort. So our cap only sacred are the burning ones. These guys are a little bit bigger, they're size 4. Bad formation fighter 2 means we can barely fit 2 of those guys in a square. They got pretty good HP, 70 gold, 23 HP. They have 18 protection, which is really high in early age. 13 MR is good, 15 morale, very good, 16 strength, exceptional. 12 attack, pretty good. Defense base is still 9, and they get huge penalties for their weapons and their armor, so they end up at 3. So these guys are fully on protection tanking. No chance they will ever dodge a hit. I mean, even a soulless will be able to hit this guy. Not that the soulless will get through the armor. They're slow, yeah, that's one thing I didn't really point out. Like, all our units are slow as fuck. They're really, really slow. And both in combat and on the map. So, that's probably the biggest weakness of Abysia, is that they're just horribly slow. So what do we get? We still get our heat aura and fire resistance. These guys have heat 6, which I think is a little bit stronger than our other guys. Yeah, these guys only have heat 3. So they fatigue enemies out pretty quickly. They also have a fire shield for 8 AP fire damage. So that's nice, especially versus short weapons. They do have Berserk 3, so once they take a shot, their protection will go up to 21. So that's nice, I guess. And what else do they have? Wasteland Survival, Dark Vision, the normal set. These guys also get firepower, so they hit even harder and have even better attack and hot provinces. They also get some more defense, but that doesn't matter. And these guys are ambidextrous, so they fight better with 2 weapons, which is good because these guys have 2 weapons. So they dual wield these morning stars. That's why their defense is so horrible. But they hit pretty freaking hard. Good attack density. So 2 of them with the morning stars. That's 4 attacks coming out of a square. That's still above average. And they have their fire shield and the heat aura also harassing the enemy. So these guys are really damn killy and pretty scary. Then for our mages we have the Slayer, or for our commanders, not all of those are mages, we have the Slayer. 11 protection, 17 HP, Assassin for 95 gold and only 1 recruitment point. So these guys are pretty nice. We might use them in expansion. No scale walls, so maybe we can make use of these new items that give scale walls and try to assassinate some people in early wars. We get these guys, the beast trainers. They only have 10 leadership. They have animal awe because just because, and I also have Beastmaster 3, so these guys will get the salamanders up to morale 12, and at that point they should be not running on contact, so that's great. We have our real commander already at 100 leadership, so we got good commanders here. And we can get them in every fort. They have Taskmaster and the usual stat line for Abyssians. Taskmaster, I don't know why we have this, because we didn't see any slave units, but hey, if we pick up some slaves somewhere, we'll have the right guy to lead them around. Then we have these guys, the salamanders. Fire 2 mage, priest 1, so, and also a little bit of leadership, so these guys are pretty nice for leading burning ones around. They're okay-ish for research, I guess. And yeah, they're fire too. They can be our dragon summoners, so that's nice. Then we have the slightly bigger version of this. 365 gold. This is getting quite expensive. They're also old men. And for encumbrance, that's still okay. Holy 2 and also earth and fire 3. So maybe we can do something with that. Let's see. Then we get these guys, the demon bread, the 110 gold, 20 HP for an assassin, 14 protection. Same also heat aura and stuff. Dual wielding poison daggers, but most importantly they are flying. So maybe these guys are even better. So 20 HP, 14 protection, 110 gold. More HP, better protection, and barely any more expensive. These guys are cap only, so these guys are gonna be useful for early expansion. We can do some assassin expansion with those, and that should be cool. Then we have the Warlock Apprentice. This is one of our more important mages. He doesn't look like much, but he's important because he's a Blood 1 mage. So he's gonna be our Blood Hunter and also our Sabbath Slave unit, and 75 gold for 7 research. They're also pretty good researchers. Yeah, they should be they're probably our cheapest researchers. Then we have the Warlock, the slightly bigger version of him. He got Blood 2 and Astral 1, and rarely a random. So we get Astral Magic in our Sabbaths, which is nice, I guess. Blood Astral, there's a few very cancerous spells you can do using those cross paths. The normal Abyssian set, and we also get this Adept Crossbreeder. So crossbreeding is a blood summoning spell that gives you a lot of little crappy dudes, and these guys, they get more little crappy dudes, and Abysia has a special crossbreeding spell that makes those little crappy dudes a little less crappy. So that's one of our scaling engines, is blood hunting and then doing crossbreeding, Abyssian crossbreeding. Then we have our big mage, the Rurex. These guys, yeah, they're literally the biggest of our mages. They're also by far the most expensive, cap only. 2 turns to recruit, yes, cap only. So these guys are up to fire 4. They're wholly free, so they can take thrones. And also earth 1, because earth 1 is always nice to have. And rarely a random. They have a really strong fire shield and a really strong fire aura and firepower 2. The stats are not that bad. So within heat, I mean, at heat 5 they get plus 10 stats. That puts them at 21 defense and 22 attack and 25 strength. They can buff themselves using earth. So these guys might actually be okay thugs. They're expensive, but they might be useful for that. Also, if I remember correctly, I have to check this once I started the game. I think these guys, they can sometimes just spawn a volcano in a province if that province has space for another magic site, and a volcano is like 3 fire gems. So yeah, we are the fire nations. We like fire gems, like crackheads like crack, and these guys, they are all dealers. They make crack for us. So that's great. That's our nation. And as I said, my plan for this is to play around with dragon summoning. And we will start with a dragon, an awake dragon. It's gonna help us clean our cap circle fast so that we can get some resources in to produce our units. We have also taken production. We've dumped into turmoil because none of our units need very many recruitment points. We put heat up. We left growth and 0. Just so we don't die, but yeah, we don't benefit much from growth. Maybe I'll dump it. I mean, this won't be too bad. A little bit more magic. I would love to get some magic in. Just so we research a little bit better. I'm a bit worried that our research is gonna be trash. Let's have a look at spells. That's items, where's spells? Researchable spells. S. Blood magic. Crossbreeding. I'm looking for blood fecundity is blood nature. So this one gives bonus growth scales. But we don't have blood nature. We can't do blood fecundity. And I don't know if I like our lands dying. Like actually dying. That means we need to be growing strongly. And as long as we fight heat nations, that's fine. But if we bump into some cold dominion, maybe we cannot sustain that growth. So I think I'd rather be neutral. We're gonna struggle a little bit with research, but that's fine. So I've taken Death 5, so we can afford Stitchy and Flash. That's gonna give our Sacreds 10 invulnerability. These guys have 0 natural protection, so I don't even know how high they will be at 10 invo. That said, however, I don't think invo will stack with Berserk, so we kind of miss out on the Berserk bonus. But these guys should be like absolute tanks in expansion. And we also have our awake Azi to kill some people. One reason I took this guy is because this guy is a dragon summoner. So once he's done with expansion, he can summon dragons for us. And let's have a look at the craftable items. There's 2 items I want to point out. First of all, there's this dragon scepter. With Dragon Master we won. And what level is that? 2? No, that's 1, 3, 5. I mean, that's 7, so that's quite deep in, but this is a major target for us. This one. Regarding our strategy, there's also another item which I found. And that's this thing, the Dragon Crown. For water, earth. But we don't have water. We do have some earth. So maybe at some point we need to empower one guy. Or if we're really lucky and we find a way to get underwater, we could find there's one indie type that has water, earth, holy dudes. And if we could get our hands on these guys, those guys, That would be really, really nice. So I think this is the build we are going with. And yeah, I'm gonna save him for now. We need to give him a name. Maybe we just, let's see, what's his name? Enter a name for your god. Alright, so I think I'm just gonna go with a random created name. So that's our god. Mary Zishmya. Alright. And let's set up the game. So medium. Do we go with random again? That kind of fucked us last time. Let's do it again. But let's do north-south wrap around, and that should fix those problems. So we are EA Abysia, I think that's how you write it. And we'll go with 12 players again, I guess, on Mighty. And let's pick a nation and jump right in. Oh, we have some tries here. Let's take this guy. Is that right? Looks alright. So we have 16 points left. Can we do anything with that? Sadly not. This also doesn't work, so yeah, we just have to live with this, I guess. That doesn't work. Yeah, we're gonna live with having 60 points left. Do we want luck 2? I think we want luck 2. I think luck also affects our crossbreeding. So let's just try this. Alright. Set up minor story events, Scoregrass, Hall of Fame up to 20. Oh, that's mercenary slots. No global enchantments. We go to 7 again. Renaming allowed, and then for thrones we do our classic setup of 5-5-2 and 11 to win. And I bet we are going into a huge crawl again. I don't know how we are supposed to close this game fast with Abysia. Okay, let's see.